Alright, so let's discuss the 8% on how to compute the 8% income tax due. So, ang daming questions regarding about this, kung paano nga ba kino-compute yung 8% income tax due. So, let's have this example, no? For the first quarter, meron siyang 600,000 na sales. And then, for the quarter 2, may 280,000 siya. And then, 300, and then 400,000. So, in that individual quarters, let's have this computation. Actually, ito po yung general formula for the 8%. Gross sales or receipts. Add nyo po yung other non-operating income. After that, ilalas nyo po yung annual exempt income. Now, dito po nagkakagulo or nagkakaroon po ng confusion. Yung 250,000 po, annual po yan siya. Okay? So, i-discuss natin later kung bakit may mga 250,000 sa mga quarters. Okay? After that, if malilas nyo na po yung 250, that would be the net total and then multiply nyo po agad sa 8%. And that would be your income tax due. And then kung may mga withholding tax or creditable withholding tax, no? So, dyan nyo po siya babawas. And then after that, yan na po yung final, no? Yan na po yung babayaran nyo sa BIR. Alright, so let's have this example. So focus lang po muna tayo dito sa quarter 1. So example, ang isang company, may sales siya for the first quarter is 600,000. So 600,000 less 250 is equals to 350. So multiply by 8%. Sorry, hindi na lagay. That's 28,000. Okay, so sir, ano yung 250,000? Yung 250,000 po is a annual exempt siya. Okay? Basically, may binibigay si government na 250,000 deduction out of your sales. No? So, sir, bakit po sorry for a while. So, yun siya. Sir, bakit po siya dinideduct every quarter? So, ang concept po kasi ng taxation is, or even filing, is annualized po kasi siya. So, we have this deadline na 1701 Q, di ba? Ang Q po doon is deadline, no? Ang O1 po doon is yung individual or 1701 and then Q, no? So, 1701 Q. So, quarterly po ang filing ng income tax return. So, that's why quarterly din po ang computation ng income tax return. So, yung 250,000 is annual po yan siya. So, ang mangyayari is, dinideduct po yan siya each quarter. Pero, pagkadating po ng fourth quarter, pino-consolidate po yan lahat. From first to fourth quarter. Okay? So, makikita nyo yung differences as to computation mamaya. So, for now, let's just leave that idea na dinideduct talaga siya. Okay? So, in this case, 600,000 yung sales less 250. That would be the 350,000 and multiply nyo po sa 8%. That would be your 28,000 babayaran nyo sa BIR. Okay? So, napakalaki. Yes. Again, yung 8% po is my best optimal lang po siya na ginagamit. Okay? So, hindi po namin nare-recommend usually ang 8% kapag sobra taas na sales nyo. Kasi, ganito po yung nangyayari, no? Well, kung may mga creditable withholding taxes po kayo, pwede naman ito mapababaan. Okay? So, with that being said, let's proceed sa quarter 2. Sa quarter 2, may 280,000 sales siya. Sir, tanong ko lang po, bakit po may 880,000 po siya na sales dito sa second quarter? Again, ulitin ko po, kino-consolidate po siya hanggang umabot po sa quarter 4. Okay, so sales nung quarter 1, which is the 600,000. And then sales po ng quarter 2, 280,000. So, magiging 880 po siya. If you observe po, same lang pa rin po yung deduction, no, na 250,000 less 215, then that would be the 630,000. And then, yung 8% po na tax rate, no? So, that would be the 50,400. Sir, tanong, ang laki ulit ng babayaran ko. So, again, ito yung magic dito sa 8%. I-deduct nyo po yung binayaran nyo previous quarters. Let's say, for example, in this case, 28,000. So, i-deduct nyo po siya doon sa 50,400. So, magiging tax due and payable nyo na lang po is 22,400. Okay? So, kung makikita ninyo, same pa rin yung exemption, 250,000. It's just that yung sales is ina-add siya from previous quarter. And at the same time, kung may binayaran po kayo na previous quarter na tax, so, ilalagay nyo po siya. Okay? So, ganun po ang proper computation ng for 8% kapag 8% po kayo. Now, proceed tayo sa quarter 3 para mas ma-appreciate ninyo. Okay? So, may sales siya na 300,000. Sir, bakit 1,180,000? Again, kinonsolidate po natin yung sales nyo from quarter 1, quarter 2, at saka quarter 3. That would be 1,180,000 pesos. Okay. Sir, same pa rin ang exemption? Yes, same pa rin. 250,000. And then, multiply nyo sa 8%. So, the tax due would be 74,400. So, syempre, hindi lang mag-e-end dyan. Of course, babawasan nyo pa po yung mga previous quarters nyo na binayaran. Okay? So, tax paid from previous quarter. So, sa quarter 1, we have 28,000. Ito po. And then, yung second quarter is 22,400. So, babayaran na lang po for the quarter 3 is 24,000. So, ganun po siya, no? Ang proper computation. And then, para mas ma-appreciate nyo pa talaga, let's go on sa quarter 4, which is, ito na po yung annual income tax return ninyo, no? So, sa quarter 4, may sales siya na 400,000. Sir, bakit ulit naging 1,580,000 yung sales niya? 400 lang yun sa quarter 4. Again, kinonsolidate po natin lahat ng sales from quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, at quarter 4. Okay, so makikita niyo yan siya. So, kung i-check niyo from previous quarter, ito lang po siya, 1,180,000. Dadagdagan niyo po ng 400, magiging 1,580 na siya. And then, less exemption, yung annual exemption, that's 250,000, same pa rin. And then, magiging 1,330,000. And then, that would be your tax due. Multiply nyo lang po sa 8%. So, that's 106,400. So, syempre, napakalaki naman yan. So, i-reduce nyo or babawas nyo dun yung previous quarters nyo, tax paid from previous quarters. So, from the previous quarter, 28, 22, and then 24,000. So, magiging 32,000 na lang po yung magiging payable ninyo. So, in a small business owner, medyo malaki na po itong 32,000. No? Pero, ayun, hindi talaga siya ideal sa mga malalaking sales. No? So, ideal po itong 8% kapag may optimal lang po kasing sales na maganda para gumamit po ng 8%. So, again, ganun po ang computation ng 8%. No? So, I just want to debunk the myth na yung 250,000 daw po is sinasum up siya for the fourth quarter. No, hindi po. So, yung 250,000 is annual po siya. Okay? So, kung makikita nyo po dito, consistent po siya. No? And then, at the same time, dito din sa sales, no? Cumulative po yung effect. Okay? So, sige, sulat natin dito. Cumulative. Effect. So, ganun siya. And then, additional notes for this, no? This is the general formula. Kapag once po na inelect nyo po or pinili nyo po maging 8%, ang number 1 nyo po gagawin dyan is magkakaroon na po kayo ng annual renewal ng 8% nyo. And good thing, it could be done through online or through Oros, no? So, may video po tayo regarding about kung paano siya i-renew. So, just check it on my channel, and then i-renew nyo po siya on or before May 15, no? That would be your first filing, no, sa first quarter, on or before. Dapat ma-renew niyo siya, yung 8%. And then if ever failure to renew such election of 8%, babalik po kayo sa general tax rate, which is the graduated income tax rate, and then itemized deduction at the same time. Magbabayad po kayo ng percentage tax. That's the default situation pag hindi nyo po na-elect yung 8% ulit. I mean, hindi nyo po na-renew pagka next year. So, after that, after election, irrevocable na po siya. So, revocable in a sense na kapag in-elect nyo po siya on the first quarter, hindi kayo pa pwedeng pumalit ng percentage tax on the second quarter, third, and fourth. So, kailangan stick from the first quarter. So, 8% ang gagamitin. And then, question, kailangan pa po ba ng financial statements? The answer is no. Not required na po. Kasi nga, ang essence ng financial statements, usually, sales less cost of sales equals to gross income and then less expenses. Sa case ninyo, wala po kasing expenses sa 8%. Only the exemption lang na 250,000. So, hindi ideal na magkaroon ng AFS or audited financial statement si 8%. Now, I just want to add the concept sa taxation ng Pilipinas, kung bakit gaano ka-importante na ma-renew nyo po siya pagka next year. So, number one, so let's go to income taxes. So, this is just a quick overview. So, sa income taxes, we have 8% and then graduated income tax rate at saka 8% tax rate. So, sa graduated income tax rate, dito po gumagamit po kayo ng tax table, no? So, you just simply search it sa Google, tax table 2025, no? So, kapag graduated income tax rate po kayo, either itemized deduction or optional standard deduction po kayo. Okay, so kapag graduated income tax rate po kayo, may babayaran po kayong business tax, no? So, magiging dalawa po yung babayaran ninyo. That's kapag GI kayo, GIT, no? Ang mangyari niyan, magbabayad po kayo ng income tax quarterly tsaka annually plus the business tax. Depende kung percentage kayo or VAT. So, ganun ang mangyayari. Kaya, importante pong ma-renew. Ngayon, kapag 8% na po kayo, no IT and no business tax na po ang babayaran. Okay? So, ganun po kahalaga ang pag-renew ng 8%. Okay? So, sa business tax, may dalawang babayaran ka, percentage tax or value-added tax. Kapag nag-exceed na po yung sales nyo ng 3 million, of course, VAT plus the income tax, quarterly, tsaka annually. Kung hindi naman po nag-exceed ng 3 million, 3% ng sales mo. And then, additionally, may babayaran ka pang income tax, no? Quarterly, tsaka annually. Pero kapag 8% ka na, hindi nyo na po kailangan magbayad ng business tax, no? So, ganun po siya. And then, sino-sino nga ba ang required or sino-sino nga ba lang ang qualified to elect 8%? So, number 1 po, kailangan non-VAT registered kayo. What do you mean, sir, non-VAT registered? Kailangan below 3 million po yung sales ninyo. Okay? And then, hindi po kayo engaged sa non-VAT exempt. Hindi kayo engaged into VAT exempt sales transactions. And then, hindi kayo subject din sa percentage tax, of course. So, sino nga ba lang? Those self-employed professionals or self-employed or professionals. So, SEP, no? So, those self-employed or professional, no? So, yung nagpa-practice po ng professions, no? Ideal po kasi itong 8% para sa kanila. So, ganun po siya, no? if you find this video helpful sa inyo, so please do subscribe.